That's ultimately what the key to this fight for Khan is the fact that he can get out of the corner like a bullet. He's won so many fights early on in the fight, the first couple of rounds. And if you look at what happened to him, we pointed this out in the build-up to the fight, in the Victor Ortiz and Timothy Bradley fight. He was down on both of those fights twice by Ortiz in the first 3 rounds, and against Bradley he was down once, but he was hurt as well. So that's the part of the fight where he can really make his impact. And let's look beyond that, because it's very difficult not to, because we're going to look at the possibility of a Pacquiao or a Mayweather fight down the line. He's got to look impressive. The way to look impressive, not to win on points, but to knock this guy out.
Steve, do you think he will knock this guy out?
Well, Tim Bradley, he is the only man that's got to challenge Khan in that division, and Khan wants to look better, against Lamont and Bradley did. So he wants to take him early to be taken serious if they're going to put him in with the Manny Pacquiao and the Floyd Mayweather fights.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll dive in there, because Lamont Peterson making his way to the ring as we join our commentary team with Matthew Macklin, Jim Watt and Nick Halling.
Yes, thanks very much indeed. Here comes Washington's very own Cinderella man. The Lamont Peterson story is well known, but it's almost unbelievable. A child living rough on the streets, doing what could to survive, has become a championship caliber boxer. It's the stuff the American dream is all about. But now Peterson hopes to turn those dreams into reality and become a world champion. If he does it, it really would be the culmination of an incredible personal journey. And with the mental toughness he's got, you couldn't bet against him. Just listen to that support. Well, the boos went up around here when the big screen showed Khan warming up in his dressing room. But it's a much more welcoming crowd now. And here go the boos already. Listen to that. Well, it's Amir Khan's 4th fight in the United States, where he's quickly becoming a household name. The boy from Bolton was intrigued by bringing boxing back to Washington, D.C. after being invited here to a dinner hosted by Hillary Clinton, no less. These days, he's dining at the top table of world boxing, and even bigger banquets could be just around the corner, always assuming he takes care of business tonight. And the guys in the studio were speculating about, would it be a Peterson house, would it be a Khan house, would it be split? Well, those boos told their own tale. But Khan is so tough mentally these days, I'm sure this hostile environment isn't going to bother him one little bit.
No, I don't see that. He's very experienced, Khan, very experienced at this level. There's almost a little fear. I mean, although Peterson has won an IBF eliminator, it is a voluntary defence. They've chosen this guy obviously because they reckon they can beat him and they can look good against him. There's almost a little fear. There's a little bit of underestimating, at the back of his mind. I hope not, because he's facing a genuine world-class performer. A man boxing in front of his own home people with probably the biggest chance and the last chance of his career. So this could turn into a real struggle for Amir Khan.
And look who's carrying the belt, just going past us now. David Haye has made it. He's bringing one of the belts into the ring to support Amir Khan. Take a look at the tail of the tape. Peterson 2 years older. But the interesting thing is, they weighed in yesterday just a pound apart. As we take a look at the rules, no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule, only the referee can stop it, and you can't be saved by the bell.
Washington, D.C., USA. This is the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the unified WBA IBF Light Welterweight Championship of the World. All brought to you by Golden Boy Promotions and Khan Promotions, and sponsored by Cerveza Tecate con Carácter, DeWalt Power Tools, guaranteed tough. AT&T, stay a step ahead with AT&T 4G LTE with speeds up to 10 times faster than 3G. And Microtech, taking technology further. Sanctioned by the District of Columbia Boxing Commission, Chairman Scotty Irving, and the World Boxing Association, President Gilberto Mendoza, Supervisor Michael Welch, The International Boxing Federation President Darryl Peoples, Supervisor Paul Artiste. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring this bout, should it go the distance: Valerie Dorset, George Hill, and Nelson Vasquez. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, working for the 36th time in a world contest, referee Joseph Cooper. And now, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world on HBO, the officials are ready, the fighters are ready. Ladies and gentlemen, from Washington, D.C., let's get ready to rumble! Fighting out of the blue corner, with head trainer Barry Hunter, wearing purple, official weight 140 pounds. His professional career totals 29 victories, including 15 knockouts, only 1 defeat with 1 draw. From Washington, D.C., USA, the #1 ranked challenger in the world, Lamont Peterson. And fighting out of the red corner, with his head trainer, Hall of Famer Freddie Roach, wearing yellow trimmed with red, officially weighing 139 pounds. This Olympic silver medalist now has a professional career total of 27 fights, 26 victories, including 18 knockouts, and only 1 defeat. Here's the fighting pride of Bolton, Lancashire, England, the reigning, defending WBA, IBF, light welterweight champion of the world, Amir.
Structure in the dressing room. Especially conduct yourself with professionals that you are. Let's shake hands. Let's start the thunder.
Joe Cooper issues his final instructions. It's the 6th defense of the WBA belt and the 1st of the IBF belt for Amir Khan in hostile territory. And they always say a crowd shouldn't affect the fight, because when the bell goes, it's you against the other guy. But I think Khan and his camp might be a little bit surprised that this crowd is so pro-Peterson. The Khan supporters struggling to make themselves heard. And also worth pointing out as well, that Khan and Peterson yesterday were 1 pound apart in weight. But tonight, they are 6 pounds apart. Peterson has put on 15 pounds since the weigh-in yesterday, Khan 10.
You know, I'm not sure that's an advantage. The body doesn't want to be 15 pounds heavier today than it was yesterday. Sometimes fighters overhydrate and leaves them a little bit sluggish. We've seen some poor performances, but Peterson certainly looks sharp enough. But setting the pace, as you always want to do, especially boxing away from home.
And obviously, if you're sluggish, that's the worst possible way to be against Amir Khan. His main weapon is speed, and he's looked really sharp in training. Peterson goes for the big right hand over the top, misses by a mile. And Khan catches Peterson there. And a big right hand from Khan. And now you can hear the Khan chants in the crowd. This is a positive start from the double champion.
I think Peterson thought the referee was calling break there. He seemed to go to sleep and lose his way. Protect yourself at all times. Well, I was looking for signs of sluggishness. His certainly thinking was sluggish there.
And again, another shot, a left hand. And that would have done a slip.
Well, I thought that was a knockdown.
Yeah.
I would have called a knockdown there.
That's controversial from Joe Cooper, because I'm sure a left hand landed from Khan.
Peterson struggling with the speed of Khan this early.
Well, even if it was ruled a slip, I don't think that's going to bother Khan. He knows he can catch him and hurt him. It's a very positive start from Amir Khan.
Yeah, well, he's done everything right. Has not allowed his challenger to do anything to gain confidence. So quick, so accurate. Tremendous opening round from Khan.
But before we all go getting carried away with the possibility of an early finish, and it could happen, of course, there's a real streak of toughness about Lamont Peterson. He's climbed off the floor against Victor Ortiz twice to earn a draw. He climbed off the floor against Timothy Bradley and went the distance. But Khan is hitting hard, he's hitting with accuracy, and he is showing terrific speed.
See, Peterson is a thinking fighter, and quite often thinking fighters need a couple of...
And another right hand! And that wasn't a slip. The first one wasn't, the second one definitely wasn't. And Peterson is in a bad place.
Can't deal with the speed. Got to get his defences tighter. He's too busy trying to hurt Khan, but maybe he should be getting his head clear.
You could see it in Peterson's eyes as he took that count. What is happening in there? You could see it, he was struggling. What a start from Amir Khan. Not sure any of us expected that.
Real positive start from Amir Khan. His speed is just bamboozling it. You know, Peterson can't even get into the fight. He just can't gauge the speed of Khan. It's blistering hand speed.
Well, when I heard that Peterson has put 15 pounds on between the weigh-in yesterday, some people sitting at home and think that's impossible, but no, it's not impossible. I just think that's one of the reasons he was so sluggish, but he could not get out of the way of the punches. He couldn't respond with his own punches. He tried to come back with power, it wasn't working. Tremendous opener for Khan, and I think he was robbed of 2 knockdowns. Here we go.
Yep. His feet did slip a little bit, and the referee was in the middle of it as well.
Yeah, with the inside of the glove seemed to land from the left hand, and then the right hand landed a bit higher. Here we go, that there. Well, maybe the referee with a better view, maybe he did get it right. Looks more at the elbow that knocked him over.
I think Amir just needs to be careful of those big wide hooks that Peterson tries to throw every time he pitches the combination. I mean, he's boxing really well, but that's the only thing he needs to watch out for at this stage.
Barry Hunter in Lamont Peterson's corner, trying to settle him down, saying stop loading up with every punch. They're concentrated on movement during the preparation for this one at the Wildcard Gym, Freddie Roach. We saw it during a couple of training sessions here. There was that step to the side, keeping it on the outside, always moving. And then whipping in these right hands. But he's scoring freely with both fists here, Khan.
He's just too quick for Peterson. Peterson cannot get out of the way of the punches.
And every punch that lands solid shakes Peterson to his boots.
Keep your head up, keep your head up.
Decent right hand from Peterson. He needs a lot more of those. That's a bit better. But Khan just zings in one of those rights downstairs. And then he's gone.
For Peterson to have success, he needs to get close, but Khan doesn't just have blistering hand speed, his foot movement is so quick as well.
Yeah, exactly, and he's catching Peterson as he comes forward. I was just about to say sometimes thinking fighters need a couple of rounds to get into a fight. They don't start quickly. Peterson is known as a slow starter, but that's been exaggerated tonight, and I'm really worried about this story about the 15 pounds weight that he's put on.
Khan with another right hand. Peterson backing up and trying to regroup and refocus.
See, Peterson's not used to fighters who throw so many punches. He's a counter puncher, so he slips inside the jab and counters, but when the opponent's throwing 3 and 4 punches, no chance to counter. Excellent tactics from Khan.
Loading up with a right hand and missing again.
Yeah, and he can't wait for Khan to punch and then him punch, because he's too quick. He has to punch when Khan punches, and it's very hard with these whole combinations to counter.
And Khan's showing a little feint there before he throws the punches. Technique, spot on.
Well, he let the punches go there, Peterson, and Khan's response was positive. But just a sense that Peterson is starting to settle down a little bit here. The only what is up for him surely after that torrid opening round.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit closer. Khan trading a little bit more with him, not using the foot movement that he was using in the opening round, but still boxing well.
Getting through with the left, but getting punched again. Khan whipping in those rights. A real sickening to the body. Terrific start to this fight.
Get under and out right away, okay, son?
Where's that breath out for me?
They're very calm in the Khan corner. In contrast, Well, Barry Hunter was really going for the emotional appeal. He was saying, this is DC, this is home. Look around, he said to Lamont Peterson. I think he knows his man. Might be in over his head here. He's trying to find some inspiration for him. Now, Peterson is so tough mentally, as we've said. Everybody who knows his story knows and respects that. But toughness will only take you so far. He's in with an opponent who looks like he's got a far superior skill set at the moment.
I think the problem for Peterson, he seems to be looking for power the way he's setting himself, but he's not a big puncher. I mean, he's cute, he's clever, he has all the moves, but he's not a powerful puncher, yet he's setting himself and letting single shots. There he goes again, the left hook. This is though he's trying to blast Khan out of there with one punch.
I'm getting the sense, Matthew, Khan's speed has panicked Peterson.
His speed is exceptional. It's that mesmerising speed. He just troubles everyone. And in the first round, with someone who has that kind of speed, he's usually going to be your worst. He came back into the fight a little bit towards the end of the second. He's doing okay, but every time Khan puts 5, 6, 7 punch combinations together, he's landing like, there you go again.
Yeah, counter puncher can't deal with that. He wants you to lead single punches, then he punishes you for that. The Khan's throwing 2, 3, 4 at a time. And Peterson just can't get set.
Well, he's trying to up the tempo here, Peterson. Trying to get in close. That was a decent left hook, excuse me. And followed up with a right cross. But Khan comes back with punches of his own. But Peterson's starting to find his range. And this is what he wants to do. He wants to get inside, get close, work the body, slow Khan down.
I wonder if Peterson has watched the Maidana tape with Khan, because he seems to have similar tactics, just boring forward, trying to draw him into something of a brawl, and it's beginning to pay dividends for him. This is better work from Peterson.
3 quick left hooks and a big right hand over the top from Peterson. This is a really good response. And now Khan's after it too deep. He was rocked there. Peterson working the body. Khan looking to find something over the top, but Peterson's blocking some of these shots now.
Yeah, Peterson dragging him into the but then he's waving him forward, but walking onto a shot himself. Really good work from Peterson here. He looks the boss at the moment.
And he looks to be growing in confidence as well. And Khan is on his bike, trying to find some space, and Peterson's giving him nothing.
I think Khan's legs are a little shaky. I think he got hit high again.
He got hit there. A right hand to the body shook him. The place goes nuts as Khan hangs on.
His legs are looking unsteady at the moment.
He is having a hard time.
On his heels.
A right cross gets through. And Peterson senses he could finish this. What a round for Lamont Peterson.
Khan will need to draw on all the experience he had in the Maidana fight now. It's going to be a tough fight.
Good left from Khan, right on the bell. He needed that.
Like I was saying, similar tactics to Maidana, but he's a lot more technical than Maidana. It's a big round for Peterson. He's happy.
Well, the emotional talk from Barry Hunter certainly worked. What's Freddie Roach going to say now?
I think Peterson has shocked everyone, certainly shocked myself and the Khan camp. The strength and the power in the shots. He shook Khan up several times in that round. That punch was bang on the chin. Nothing wrong with Khan's chin. He's taking the punches, but you do not want to be taking too many of those. And look at the strength now. Peterson's using body shots with the confidence in his work now.
Peterson is physically the strong fighter. That's going to become more of a fact as the fight goes on. Khan's mesmerising speed is the biggest problem for Peterson early on in the fight, so there could just be a change of things here.
Big right hand again from Peterson.
And that speed will account for nothing if he's catching shots like that. He's already been hit twice. A right followed by a left in this round. That speed will start to go if he takes punishment like this. That'll level the playing field.
Good timing can counteract speed also, and Peterson has great timing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maidana used these tactics, but he was crude. There's nothing crude about Peterson. There's a right hand through. The good response from Khan. Khan's punches are not accurate. He's pumping them out.
And again, look at the work rate. Those punches getting through. Now Khan does the kidology as if to say, no, you're not hurting me. But he's getting through the guard of Khan here, Peterson.
Freddie Roach telling Khan to stick that jab in his face. He needs to nullify Peterson from advancing forward, just stalking him and walking him down.
You just wonder if Khan would get the verdict backing off over here. because really the positive work again at the moment is coming from Peterson. He looks the boss here at the moment.
And already that first round seems like a distant memory.
It's more the pace I'd be concerned with. Khan having to work very hard, moving a lot. And there's a lot of punches being thrown.
Yeah, but Khan is the one being forced to work at this pace, and that's the one who usually starts with a good response here. Got his accuracy back again, Khan. This is good.
This is what he needs. But there's the body shots again.
Yeah, Lamont Peterson. Good defence out there, Nick, from Peterson, rolling the shots with the shoulder. But then start going skidding up and not having any effect.
Nor did that big right hand. But Khan forced to cover up.
Do you think there's a little bit of macho in Khan's work that we can do without? He should be using his skills. I think he wants to prove he has a chin. With the leave on, we don't want him to prove it.
There he goes again. Good left to the solar plexus after those two right hands upstairs from Peterson. Khan does not want to get drawn into a brawl, and Peterson is doing just that to him.
Well, Khan's landed a lot of punches, but I think a lot of the quality shots in this round have come from Peterson. You have to take that into consideration. Glancing punches from Khan, but solid stuff from Peterson.
Loaded up with the right hand again. Peterson can't saw it, slipped inside. But back comes Lamont Peterson again.
Peterson throws those arcing punches that like loopy right hook, and he keeps landing it.
Khan's holding his glove up close there. Another sign that maybe he's looking for a little breather.
They both threw punches. Khan missed. Peterson connected. Peterson just relentless in there at the moment. Can he keep this up? That was better from Khan. What a fight. Oh, amongst the battle there, showing already. This is a tough night for Amir Khan, and it was all looking so good in that first round.
Well, I knew Peterson would give it everything. Probably his last chance to become a world champion, but I did not think he was capable of a performance like this. He's been superb so far. So has Khan. What a battle we have here.
And again, during the round, Barry Hunter really giving Lamont Peterson a tongue lashing. He knows him so well, of course. It was Hunter that took Lamont Peterson and his brother in when they were living on the streets as kids, just doing anything they could to survive. He's so much more than a boxing coach to these fellas. He's a second father, and he obviously knows his man well, knows what he responds to. And he's giving him a hard time in there, and Peterson in turn is trying to give Khan a hard time in the ring.
I'm sure Khan's been told to use the jab, use the ring, get the punch and get out of there. He's been fighting the wrong fight, but he's been forced into it. Let up.
Good body shot, right hand downstairs from Peterson.
I got you. Let go. Stop. Come on, boys.
9,000 people in this auditorium, and it's flat seating, so if you're at the back, you're not seeing a lot, but they've thought to put up some big screens so everybody can see the action.
Peterson a little bit flat-footed at the moment. I wonder if that was the tongue lashing. Maybe his coach spotted a little bit towards the end of the round. He was becoming flat-footed, not getting the punches off quickly enough now.
And that's much better from Khan, who's responding. Peterson put so much into those last 2 or 3 rounds. You wonder if he's starting to feel the pace a little bit.
I'm looking to hold, though. Maybe he's feeling the pace also. He's landing the punches, he's moving a lot. Every time he lands, then he's trying to grab hold, maybe trying to steal the rest.
I think he's probably been told to do that. Matthew, I think Freddie Roach said, use the movement and spoil up close. Don't trade, don't fight this guy's kind of fight because he was coming off second best. That's exactly what you want. Punches out, then get yourself out.
Yeah, this is much better for Khan. The punch is flowing. That was a slip. That really was a slip. The feet just gave way under him. Peterson was nowhere near him.
Not the same intensity from Peterson's work in this round. He's not getting close enough to get the punches off. As I say, just a little bit flat-footed at the moment.
Yeah, this is the dominant round so far from Amir Khan.
This is the tactics that Freddie Roach would want. Plenty of movement, plenty of punching. Don't get involved.
Keep your hand up, son.
Oh, that blistering pace the two of them set. Khan switching downstairs, getting another combination in, then getting out of range. And as you say, Jim, he lands his shots, gets out of there. It's a much better strategy for him. It's proving to be very successful in this round.
No, there's not the same venom in Peterson that we saw in the 2 previous rounds. Just not imposing himself on Khan the way he was doing. He's reaching with that jab. Through the right hand.
But it missed. and you couldn't sustain the tempo that Peterson set in rounds 2, 3 and 4. You just had to have a breather somewhere.
It's okay to set that kind of pace if you're taking as much out of the other guys you're taking out of yourself, but I'm not sure Peterson did. Good round for Khan.
It's a Gaggia espresso coffee machine.
It's beautiful.
Thank you, darling.
You're welcome, sweet pea.
It's really beautiful.
What does it do?
I'm not sure, but it's beautiful.
At Argos, we've got coffee makers from top brands like Gaggia, Nescafé Dolce Gusto and Tassimo. And right now, there's up to 50% off the entire range.
That is where it's going to live.
Beautiful.
We believe there's a better way to shop online. Argos it.
Tomorrow we're paying, but right now ain't none of that. Let's go to work. Double, triple the jam, put some back. Okay?
Just not getting close enough to inflict any damage, Peterson. That's the slip from Khan, an obvious slip through the right hand, completely off balance.
It was interesting listening to the rounds, the corners between the rounds there as well. Matthew Barry Hunter was saying, we've come too far to let this slip away. The emotional appeal again. Whereas Freddie Roach was just saying, it's the body shots. They're hurting him. Keep going to the body.
Yeah, well, Amir Khan landed 2 really good body shots in the round before, so I think Freddie wants to see more of that, and that'll help him take the sting out of Peterson.
The referee's just had a word with Hunter and saying any more of that and I'll take a point away. I don't know what he was talking about. You can't take a point away for something that the second does. I didn't quite catch what that was about.
Round 6 already. The first 5 have flown by. Khan using the left jab to good effect, keeping Peterson at range.
Watch that elbow.
And Peterson has lost some of that accuracy. That's better. Getting through with a couple of right hands and a right hook.
Yeah, well, Khan was holding on to his left hand. That's better from Khan. I think that's all part of the plan. Nullify up close and outbox him at long range. I mean, grabbing him around the neck. I mean, all the survival things that Khan has learned in that wildcard gymnasium come into play here.
Again, Khan getting there with the left and switching downstairs again as he's been told to do.
Good body shot from Peterson.
Yeah, the confidence is all back for Amir Khan after those torrid rounds when Peterson gave it everything he had. I wouldn't go as far as to say that he's peaked here, Lamont Peterson. It would be very dangerous to do that, but you just get the sense that Khan has seen the best he's got to offer.
Well, he's trying to up the tempo, Peterson. He's trying to do what his corner have told him to do. Raise the heat that a little bit, but he's not getting close enough to do any damage.
And he's walking onto a lot of shots. A couple of good left hooks landed from Khan. There's another left.
Yeah, but Peterson needs to be prepared to take chances. He's not going to swap jabs with Khan. He's going to come off second best all night long. He needs to be prepared to take 2 to give, to land one. He has to take chances in there.
Again, Peterson looking to work the body. That's his strength.
I think his problem, what was working for a couple of rounds, is not working now, because there's not the same snap in it.
And Khan continues to work the body, continuing to chip away. Peterson gets through with the right uppercut that shook Khan up. And then a combination again. Khan showboats, but he's stiffened as that right landed. And then Khan comes back.
These are good body shots from Peterson, not enough of them to win the round, but he's still digging them into that midsection.
Khan took some good shots there on the chin. I don't think it's the shots on the chin that troubles him. I think it's the ones up high around the temple that disorientate him more.
Well, they've both had some success in this round. It's been another good one for Khan, but Peterson did get through, and he did seem to shake Khan up. Another terrific round.
Well, I think again, Khan really stopped. Another terrific performance and a terrifically exciting fight. But we're 2-1 from him, and he's serving it up. That's the uppercut up close from Peterson. That's what we saw, a little bit of bravado from Khan. He dropped his hands and took another couple. We don't need that.
Go back.
They're both showing some marks as we go into the second half of this light welterweight title fight. WBA and IBF belts on the line. It could be Amir Khan's last fight at this weight. That's certainly been the talk this week, and indeed for the last few weeks. He'll want to go out on a winning note, of course. Lamont Peterson has other ideas.
Peterson has been told by the corner to double and treble the jab. I don't think that's the answer. Khan is winning the battle of the jab. He has to get close, work the body and get the power shots on. He's not going to out-jab. Khan's too quick for him.
Can't get him through again. Yeah, Peterson's had success when he's applied pressure. Got close. Nullifying the speed with that timing that Matthew was talking about.
Bring him up.
Yeah, Peterson's just got to walk in with the hands high and get close, make Khan punch, make him work, force the pace.
Certainly when there's distance between them, that's when Khan's at his happiest. You can pick him off with that speed.
Well, I think there's a terrific maturity now about Khan. I mean, he could not have been involved in a fight like this 3 years ago with a big right hand for Peterson. He needs more of that.
And he's got Khan on the ropes, almost at exactly the same pace he had him in the last round, landing a big right hand.
Khan needs to do what he was doing earlier when he was getting close. Tie him up and walk him back, push him up, get more room, keep it at range.
Come on, Peterson. Come on, Peterson.
You mentioned the bravado, Jim, there, and ever since that greatest Prescott thing that happened so long ago now, everyone says, oh, well, there's a suspect in there, and obviously he's been on the floor. Michael Gomez had him down, Craig Watson in the amateurs. It's almost a sense that he wants to prove he can take a shot, but he's proved that, hasn't he?
Yeah, but I think, I mean, it's maybe fortunate tonight that Lamont Peter is not noted as a big puncher, because the amount of times he's been caught clean with this fight could be over. This is good from Khan. He's just having the last word in the exchanges, and that's so important. Peterson again trying to up the pace, but Khan answering everything and just having the last word.
Good work on the ropes again from Lamont Peterson, trying to just wear Khan down, keep the pressure on. Khan trying to slip away, get away from him. And they're loving it. Peterson giving Khan nowhere to go. Khan making out that he's okay, but these punches are getting through.
No, and again he's allowing Peterson to produce a better work than he's been producing. This is dangerous. This is not clever stuff.
That was a big left hook, and right upstairs. And it's sheer volume from Peterson. Enough getting through.
I wonder if Khan is volunteering to do this, or if he's been forced into it. Is he looking for a breather? Is he struggling? But these are crazy tactics. He's giving this round away. Around him he's doing well, and he's giving it away now. Got to respond.
And a timeout being called by Joe Cooper right on the bell. And a point taken off. Wow.
That's for.
Well, was it holding or pushing off? I mean, the ref is harsh.
He's been warned a couple of times for pushing. That's a point off, and I thought Peterson won the round with the better work in the last minute. That's a 10-8 round.
And it was all going so well for Khan, but then Peterson just upped the tempo to an insane level.
I think Khan just needs to concentrate on his boxing. Get in, let the shots go, and move away. And when Peterson gets close, tie him up.
How do you do that when someone like Peterson shows such resolve and won't give you an inch?
I mean, it's hard, but he just got to stick to the game plan. He's doing too much bravado, playing to the crowd, shaking his head. He just needs to concentrate on the boxing.
He gave that round away. Just sheer stupidity. He was boxing well in the first minute. There's the pushing. He's been warned so often about that. And the referee had seen him right at the end of the round too. If another couple of seconds had passed, it wouldn't have happened. But that's a big round for Peterson.
And I wonder what that's done to Khan psychologically. Whether he'll just shrug it off. It's a real close fight now, whichever way you cut it. That fast start for Khan when he had Peterson on the floor at least once, possibly twice. But Jim, not a lot in it now.
Not only have 1 point in, Khan breaking away after an excellent opening round. But stupidity, wrong tactics, he's giving rounds away, then a point deduction, the last thing he needs in this kind of fight.
Yeah, and that mesmerising speed that Khan has becomes less of a factor the longer the fight goes on, and Peterson's strength becomes more of a factor.
Yeah, but just at a point where Peterson's confidence was probably dipping. It's been a massive lift for him. Look at the body shots Peterson's digging in.
Khan landed a good right hand, but it just seems to have had no effect at all.
Yeah, once he shrugged off that opening round, once he got the adrenaline flowing, Peterson doesn't seem to have been slowed by Khan. Again, one of those right hands upstairs getting through. And how many of these is Khan prepared to take on the left? As Khan is starting to be worn down here, those defences starting to fall apart.
He seems to pick the wrong time to do everything wrong in fights, Amir Khan. Is it a macho thing? Is the resistance being pushed out of him here, but he is not responding to these attacks?
Well, it's just turning into a war of attrition. And in this situation, the odds you would think will tilt in favour of Lamont Peterson. It's becoming his kind of fight now.
That's better from Khan.
Peterson with a shot to the body that maybe forced Khan to win. Khan looked at Joe Cooper as if to say it was low.
Yeah, he was claiming it was low. Get on with it.
Yeah, a reverse of the Zabduda situation. Bet from Khan. If Khan starts looking at the referee, that would be trouble. And Lamont Peterson continues this relentless assault.
Yeah. Firing again, Peterson.
And he's chasing him around the ring. There's a difference between boxing and moving and being chased around the ring. He's being chased around the ring here.
And he continues the assault on the body, then switches upstairs. It's clever from Lamont Peterson.
Yep, again, he's looking the boss. It's a close round and punches landed. But all the aggression has come from Peterson, and I think the judges will step it his way, and that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, he looks the boss in there. Peterson's the one coming forward. He's the one landing the big shots. He's the one who looks like he's controlling the action.
He's certainly outworking Khan. I mean, Khan landed a really good left uppercut there. There's had no effect on Peterson whatsoever. Peterson came back with 3 or 4 shots of his own, and he is really testing his resolve.
But he's dominating Khan in some of these exchanges. Khan is never dominating him, but I like Peterson in that round.
And so did this crowd, Jim. Let's listen to this place.
All right, okay, but listen, it's got to be behind the jab, Carl. You feel me? Mutt, I never lied to you. We've been in the script before, you feel me? I needed you to finish. Hey, the wheel's coming off his ass. It's coming off.
Hey, right? He's showing really wide now. Because you're right in the middle, right? Right in the middle of that shot, okay, son? Right over there, fire it.
Well, again, the punches and the exchanges, you remember, are the ones coming from Peterson, the one he was dominating. Khan showing that bit of bravado. I don't know what goes through his head when he does this, but he come back with snappy little punches, but nothing that could match the quality and the power. That was the point, the low blow he complained about it. It was on the belt, nothing to complain about there.
Well, I've got 2 questions. Can Peterson keep up this unbelievable pace? And if he can Khan stay with him? Barry Hunter saying, work the jab now. I'm not sure Peterson's ready to change anything.
I wouldn't even talk about the jab. What he's doing, he's bullying Khan. He's walking right up close and getting the punches off. I would continue to do that. Good stuff from Khan.
Freddie Rhodes told him to look for the uppercut. He said Peterson was coming wide with the hook, from straight up the middle, and that's what he did there. And that's the shot I think Khan's going to look for.
Good body shots, followed by the uppercut from Peterson. And Khan shipping punishment again on the ropes. What a response from Lamont Peterson. Again, softening up with the body, went upstairs, and Khan finds a response. This is unbelievable stuff.
Great fight, great fight.
I didn't think either of these guys was capable of setting up stuff like this. Tremendous, both men.
Well, the feeling was, during the build-up to this fight, Lamont Peterson, worthy challenger, fringe contender. Even if he loses this, there's nothing fringe about Lamont Peterson on this performance.
Well, the fight reached a stage there where Amir Khan had to come back with a huge response, and to his full credit, he did it. It looked as though he was being punched out of the fight there, and they come back with a tremendous onslaught. Tremendous.
This is a stage of the fight where the mental toughness, who wants the most, they're the emotions that come into play now. Both guys are tired, people make mistakes. This is where that toughness comes in.
And Khan's producing the better one.
Great shot. Peterson, who's in trouble, nearly goes. That's the best punch Khan's thrown since the first round, and it nearly took Peterson's undercarriage out.
He must get back on him again. Don't let his head clear. This is a huge round for Khan. Just at the stage where you need them to show the maturity of a champion.
Peterson trying to dig deep, coming back with body shots of his own, continuing that assault, and has his head cleared.
That's most effective, most positive stage Khan's had probably since the first round. He really rocked into his boots then.
And doing it again. Another right hand.
I think Peterson on the edge of going down here, struggling, breathing with the mouth open, walking onto punches. Khan has the spring back in the legs. He needed to produce something at that point, and he did it.
This is better from Khan, but Peterson trying to summon up some more reserves and lands another one of those right hands, and Khan's been taking them all night. And how many more will he take?
He's going to have to watch. No more points are deducted because he's grabbing him round the neck again. He's winning the round. Just keep out of trouble. There's the bell.
It is breathtaking stuff from both these men. Lamont Peterson has never fought like this, and I don't think Amir Khan can quite believe what he's been dragged into here in Washington, D.C.
Well, just to remind us, this is a voluntary defence. I wonder what they're thinking about now. Didn't think either man were capable of serving this up. It's fantastic.
Down the middle, killing him. All right? Right here. Yeah, after that ball, you didn't work for it.
This is everything you believed in. When you was on the streets, what you tell me? Only thing
Yep, there was just a point where Amir Khan had to come back with something that looked as though the fight was being taken away from him with punches like this. And what a response we got from him.
The uppercut's working for both guys. Khan landed a great uppercut. Freddie Roach encouraging that. Peterson landed a great right uppercut as well.
And this was the response that was so badly needed from Khan.
Barry Hunter in Lamont Peterson's corner, going to the emotions again, reminding him of where he's come from, that life on the streets as a youngster, to where he is now. Khan again having a look at Joe Cooper as if to say, come on, what about the low blows? And he's getting no help from the referee. Lamont Peterson is pushing Amir Khan to his limits.
All the fouling is coming from Khan at the moment. He cannot afford to lose any more points.
And again, he's muttering to himself and saying, come on, bring it on. And this is where all that conditioning work he does with Alex Ariza is going to come into play, because Ariza takes his men to the limit of their physical endurance.
He's pushing down again. I can see him losing points. He's pushing down on the neck every time Peterson comes close. Can't afford this.
And he must be close to those limits now, because Peterson is giving him such a test. I think we all knew, Matthew, that Lamont Peterson was going to give a good count of himself. Nobody expected a blowout here, but this good?
No, when we was in the first round, we thought maybe there will be a blowout, but he what a fighter. He's really dug deep and come back strong. And now Khan showed his championship part as well, and he come back one in the last round. Great fight.
Khan claiming the centre of the ring now, or trying to. He hasn't had that too often in this fight tonight. Peterson backing off. He's not effective on the back foot. So, has he just given everything he's capable of?
You know, we've said that a couple of times already, and he finds something else. Peterson can't. Again, spoiling, looking a little bit weary, and finding the left of the body and getting some space again.
I think the big problem for Khan is the aggression we've seen from Peterson all the way through this one tonight. Will that count against him in the close round? I think he's winning this round with the movement and the pumping punches. Peterson not really being effective with these attacks.
I could easily see this round being scored for Peterson also, because there's been a few times he's pinned Khan on the ropes like that, he doesn't work on the other side, and that looks effective.
Yeah, that's what impresses the judges. That's the problem with Khan. These popping punches on the move don't always impress the judges. This is good stuff. They're not hurtful punches, but they're knuckle part of the glove landing on the target, so they should be counted.
And it's keeping Peterson at bay. Most of Peterson's success is when he gets Khan up close against the ropes.
Yeah, Khan managing to stay off the ropes for the main in this round, round 10.
Well, Khan's the one looking for a breather, and the way he does that is just keeping some space between himself and Peterson. Keep on the move. It's not a round where Khan has produced his best form, but he's maybe just stolen it on the move.
Decently left on the bell. Not quite the fireworks in that round as some of the previous rounds, but Khan, clever.
One second.
Okay. Deep breath.
man. You understand me? Yo, this is DC, man. There'll be no partying on our floor tonight. How bad you want this, man? Come on. How bad you want this, son? You got to show me. The jab, I got to have it. Double and triple when you get there. Tear his ass out the frame. You got me? Let's go.
Barry Hunter again continuing to insist on the jab. And again going to the emotional appeal. That right eye almost completely closed now. Who can dig deep? Who can find a little bit of extra resolve? Who can take these last two rounds and possibly the belts?
I think the fight's in the balance here. I think there's nothing in it, and I just think that whoever finishes strong here now is going to win the fight.
Jim, I know you're keeping a scorecard. How are you seeing it?
I can't a couple of points up, but there's a couple of the rounds I've scored He's one on the move, and I wouldn't bet that the judges were impressed by it. He's landing more punches in some of these rounds, but Peterson's always been the aggressor as he is now.
And they favour aggression, American judges. How often have we seen that before? And again, Peterson just pouring it on.
Yeah, Freddie Roach, I heard him in the corner saying to Amir, we need these 2 rounds. We need these 2 rounds. So, you know, he wants Khan to finish strong.
Watch that shoulder.
Yeah. See that? Is he boxing on the move, or is he just getting himself out of there, posting? He's one has to improve on the back foot. Again, being pressed by Peterson.
Missing with the uppercut. It's a big change of tactics. That's better from Khan. Planted his feet through the combination. They didn't all score, but a couple of them got through. He gets off the ropes again. Peterson tries to close that gap immediately, give him nowhere to go. It's a complete change of tactics the last couple of rounds from Khan as the body shots go in again from Peterson, who misses with a big left hook. Khan saw that coming.
Just the trouble is, Khan looks like he's running at times, grabbing hold of, spoiling. He's lucky. Not more points coming off. Is that another warning? Yeah, there is. He has to be careful.
Yeah, and there's a difference between boxing and running, and like you say, Peterson's coming forward.
Yep, and he's looking good again here, Peterson.
Peterson caught him with a left hook, then gets him on the ropes, works the body. Khan this time does avoid the big right hand.
You just have to ask, is Khan a little bit negative in this round? Peterson really must be feeling the pace. Good body shot from Timber, spoiling from Khan. Khan is so lucky that he hasn't lost more points. He's grabbing hold. He's the one spoiling. He's the one making the messy action up close. Peterson wants to exchange punches, stepping right back in. Good stuff from Peterson.
Good body shots. Flashy response from Khan. And again, Peterson just keeping his foot on the gas. Another one of those right hands with Khan backed up on the ropes. We've seen them all night. And again, Khan looking to dodge and get out of the way.
Khan's just surviving really in this round. Throwing punches with his body. It is Peterson's round. He's the man again.
And if you're to be believed, fellas, then Khan goes into this last round 1 point up. And that may not be an accurate reflection of how the judges are seeing it either.
You feel me?
I think there's nothing in it. Whoever wins this round, could have a point either way at this stage. I think Khan needs to come out and dominate in this round.
You got to stay on his ass. You cannot.
I think there's going to be a lot of rounds. Tough to score. Peterson possibly will get the nod from the judges. Back home, I would be confident that Khan was 1 point up for the amount of punches, although they haven't been top quality stuff. If you're looking at quality, Peterson might be the man.
Let's go.
Well, 1 round to go on Jim's card. Lamont Peterson here is a round behind. But a lot of these rounds are open to interpretation, and if you go for pressure, you favour Peterson. Khan may have it all to do in this last round, with 2 judges from the United States and 1 from Puerto Rico. And whatever happens now, what an unbelievable battle this has been.
There's not much in this fight. You could have it around either way.
Can one of these 2 terrific warriors find something special in this last round to render those judges' scorecards unnecessary?
I think Khan has to stand his ground here, stop running, and try to hurt this fellow, stop his march forward in the last round, just to impress the judges.
And take the wind out of the sails of Peterson. Fight fire with fire.
But you know what Peterson's going to do. And Khan looking for the response. Has Khan found a second win?
He needs to subdue Peterson. He needs to subdue him, stop him advancing, stop him looking like he's the boss in there.
That's impossible tonight, Matthew. Peterson is boxing on a whole new level. And even if he doesn't get this decision, boy oh boy, is he the real thing. Terrific right uppercut from Khan. A point, a timeout.
Hold on, is this another point?
And it is. It is. How big could this be?
That could cost him the fight.
And how big is Joe Cooper, who's not a very experienced referee at this level? How significant is that going to be?
Well, I now have the fight level. Khan needs a huge last couple of minutes here.
Oh, big right hand.
Good shot again from Peterson as Khan now has to step on the gas after being deducted a second point by Joe Cooper from Washington.
And you can't blame the referee, because Khan has been warned so often and he's committed so many fouls tonight in his efforts to be the one who's spoiled. I think he's just maybe throwing his titles away here.
Well, all bets are off now as we get down to the last minute. It is standing room only around this auditorium. Everybody on their feet. They sense that something special might be happening in Washington, D.C. tonight for one of their own. 1 minute to go. Peterson continuing to force and push and pressurize. Khan continuing to look at the referee.
And Khan is not going to win this round. You don't have a point deducted in and the judges give you the round. I think he's throwing his titles away with persistent fouling. He needs to score a knockdown here. And he's running out of time.
So David Hayes sitting there in the yellow t-shirt, ringside impassive. Concerned. Peterson continuing to pour it on. Good right hand from Khan. Last 25 seconds or so. What a scrap, what a battle. Two terrific warriors. But what controversy as well. Khan absolutely exhausted. Goodness knows how Peterson is still going. Last 10 seconds. Is Amir Khan about to lose his titles in what would be a dramatic upset in Washington, D.C. What a battle. You have to hand it to both these fellas. An unbelievable performance. But I don't think there's anybody in this arena that can predict with any confidence which way this is going to go. Do either of you two fellas want to stick your necks out?
I think the points deductions of Rob Khan, I mean, and he can't complain about it, because he was warned several times. He was grabbing hold of Peterson every time he came close. All of the spoiling that was done in those 12 rounds was done by Amir Khan. He came back with good work, but there was a lot of rounds where he was running and throwing little popping punches, where this fella here really looked the boss, digging in the body shots. It was close. I had Khan 1 point up going into the last round, but I think he's thrown it away with that point deduction. It's got to be close, but we have to remember we're boxing away from home here, and the aggressor 90% of the time tonight was Lamont Peterson.
I thought Khan started excellently, and then Peterson took over. He looked like the boss. Khan was probably outpointing him, outscoring him in some of the rounds, but Peterson looked the boss. He was dictating the terms. He was pushing forward, and it was the big shot, body shots on the ropes. He looked very good, and you know, you were just worried that maybe he's going to go against Khan here because of that.
And Peterson showing a level of hunger, Jim, that you rarely see at this level.
Yeah, and there was a lot of rounds that you thought Khan was doing well, but then he was trapped in corners, and you could see he was being bullied by Peterson. He was holding his head near, taking big punches, just giving the initiative to Peterson. This is close. Would love to think that Amir has hung on to his titles. I hope the judges weren't overly impressed with the aggression of Peterson. Punches landed, Khan can still go home with these titles, but it's in the balance.
It really is. HBO had Khan 1 point up for whatever that's worth. It is so close. A fantastic effort from Peterson. Has Khan done enough? And don't forget, there was that knockdown in the first round that counterbalances to an extent those 2 points off. But there's no great confidence in either camp, really, is there? Fabulous performance from both men. An awful lot of respect between the camps.
Some of Khan's boxing looked a bit negative. You know, was he outboxing? Was he running? There was a fine line, and sometimes he crossed that line, and he just looked as though he was just trying to get to the bell, you know, any way he could. And rounds like that, you know, you score to the man who's running. That's what keeps this one so close.
Khan boxed beautiful in patches, but you're saying in other areas of the fight, he was being bullied around the ring. We'll see soon enough now. Very close fight, great fight. Both guys hurt each other. Hopefully the points deductions isn't the sway of the fight.
Well, I think we're very close to an announcement. David Hayes in the ring, Bernard Hopkins you saw in the ring there as well. He boxed on the undercard in Washington, D.C. 18 years ago. And Riddick Bowe took out Jesse Ferguson the last big night of boxing in DC. I tell you, we won't be waiting 18 years to come back to this place after a performance like that and after a turnout like this as well. Awful moments for both of them. Is this the culmination of a dream for Lamont Peterson? Has Amir Khan got away with it by the skin of his teeth? We just don't know, but we're going to find out soon.
Well, quite often in Vegas, you know, the favoured fighter from the favoured camp gets the nod. We're not in Vegas now. That was a really close fight, which could go either way. You could not argue whoever gets this. So, really in balance.
Well, look on Khan's face. So he's hoping for the best. He doesn't know. But then again, they don't know in the Peterson camp either. Has he done enough? Has he recovered to take these titles after looking like he was going to be blown away in that opening round when Khan had him all over the place? But boy, did he find something special, as we knew he would.
Seen it over the years, fighters with a good jab and good timing especially. Vernon Forrest, Shane Mosley, Marquez and Pacquiao. He can give the fast fighters problems.
Well, that was something Lamont Peterson was saying in the build-up to this fight. He said, yeah, I know about Khan's speed, but I've got timing. And as you say, Matthew, timing will cancel out speed. It didn't always.
The technique as well, and knew how to get close, and knew how to work the body. The uppercuts were working for him. It's just there's so many rounds where he looked at boss, and his work up close was more impressive. Good responses, a little popping arm punches we saw a lot of the time for Khan, which can also sway things against you. Love to think he's moving on to be the superstar we expect him to be, but we're going to find out now.
We're seeing Khan celebrating on the big screens here, and that's what the booze are for.
Yeah, Reza whispered something to him. I'm just wondering, did he get, has he got wind of what the score is?
Well, this is a long wait. 5 minutes since that final bell went, and they're starting to look a bit anxious now in the Peterson corner.
Yeah, well, there seems to be a rumour floating around, and it's not one that Peterson wants to hear.
Barry Hunter just in front of us. Peterson's coach was just gesticulating at somebody, jabbing a finger. Not looking happy. Khan might just get out of this.
Gentlemen, we go to the scorecards. George Hill scores about 113-112. Peterson. Nelson Vasquez scores at 114-111. Khan. Valerie Dorset scores at 113-112 to the winner by majority decision. And new.
He's turned it all upside down.
He was the fighter in the ring tonight, and the fighter has been rewarded. Tremendous performance. He could not have given 1 ounce more. So Amir Khan got the tactics wrong. The points deductions robbed him of his 2 titles. But he cannot. I'm disappointed for Amir Khan. Obviously, we wanted him to win, but I cannot feel disappointed for Lamont Peterson, the life he's had, and what he laid on the line tonight.
He really did. He really did. That rumour that swept round the ring was a false one. The points deduction, as you say, Jim, have cost him dear. But you can't feel bad for Lamont Peterson. I mean, what a performance from him tonight.
Yeah, you're right on both counts there, Nick. I think definitely the points deduction, particularly in the 113-112 card. That was a low-scoring card, so it would have been 114-113. You know, those points, they were crucial. They lost in the fight. Lamont Peterson, you have to feel happy for him. Disappointed for Amir Khan, but you know, Lamont Peterson, the life he's had to win the world title in his hometown.
When someone puts as much of that into a challenge for the World Championship, after the history, after falling a little bit short at championship level before, I mean, you just have to take your hat off to him. Well, a disappointment, obviously, with huge plans for Amir Khan. Amir Khan will come back again, have another day. Lamont Peterson, if he had lost tonight, he would never have had another day. So I have to say, an awful lot of me is saying congratulations. I cannot feel really all that bad about it.
Yeah, you can't take anything away from Lamont Peterson. And again, it's the old story. So much of the talk this week was, where does Amir Khan go next when he moves up to welterweight? The likes of Andre Berto and everyone else and Mayweather. That's all irrelevant now. Here's the interview.
It was a long road, and all the hard work paid off. The win can't come any other way. Tough fight, down early again, and I just got to grind the whole fight to come back and win the fight. Couldn't been a better night.
You had a chance to fight him last year in Britain. You walked away from the biggest payday of your life to take a fight for a fraction of that amount of money. What does that say about you as a fighter and as a person?
As a person, I stand for something. I don't go for anything. I've been taught that since I was young, not to fall for anything. And in the ring, I'm the same way. As you can see, you know, a lot of people, you know, I was a big underdog. A lot of people thought Khan was going to win. Early on, they probably were saying, yeah, I knew it was going to be this way. But, you know, I stand for something. I'm not just going to lay down to anyone. So I fight the whole way through.
All right, this fight had a lot of changes as well as a lot of exchanges. When did you realize that you just can't box with him and you've got to go to plan B and or C.
Maybe 2 or 3 rounds. Every time I pulled back, he was coming in catching me, and they credited him with a knockdown when I pulled back and he hit me and kind of swept my legs. So I said, you know what, this probably ain't the best thing to do because it's going to keep happening. So I just wanted to go forward and change the game plan. I told you we had 3. I went with number 2 and it worked.
You were always regarded as a boxer. Now you're a boxer and a brawler. You put it all out there. When did you see that he was in something that he wasn't expecting?
Well, you know, I always like to come out and box. Been that way ever since I was an amateur. But my coach told me to start working in the inside, and then I started doing it, and it just was a habit after that. I see that it works, you know, in long distance fights. I wear people down, I go to the body well, so I just continue to do it.
What did you think about the point deductions from him for pushing?
I think that I think they should have took points for him holding my head down. A lot of times I didn't bend all the way down, it was about this high, and he would just pull my head down. I think they should have took points from that. He was pushing a lot, but I didn't mind it. I didn't like that dipping down to the head.
You're a champion now. This was a very entertaining fight. Would you give him a rematch?
I would definitely give him a rematch. He gave me a chance to fight for a world title. Why not? You know, it was a good fight. I'm pretty sure everyone enjoyed it. I wouldn't mind doing it again.
Thank you very much for an outstanding fight.
All right, thanks.
Well, very humble, very dignified in victory, wasn't he, Lamont Peterson? Amir Khan loses his world titles. Let's hear from him.
Decided to make a brawl out of it and got into you. What were your thoughts at the time as he was getting ahead of steam?
Well, Larry, you know, first of all, it was like I was against 2 people in there, the referee and Lamont himself. Every time he was coming into me and he kept putting his head low. I mean, I tried. He just kept putting his head low and I just couldn't get going. My jabs were getting him. I was a more cleaner fighter. He was so wild in there. And, you know, like I said, I was against 2 people in there. The referee just wasn't giving me a chance.
Did you hear him give a warning before the first point deduction?
Well, yeah, they were giving the warning, but I couldn't do anything. He was coming so low. I mean, it was just going to come in with his head. Every time I tried to keep him away from me, he just kept coming low and low after that. So, you know, I tried, man. End of the day, you know what? I was against 2 people in there. I was the cleaner fighter in there. And, you know, no wonder there's never been boxing in DC for the last 20 years because this is what happens. I mean, he was the home fighter, and, you know, that was just what.
So you're saying that these were hometown decisions by the referee?
Definitely. You know what? I was against him and the referee in his
Let's take a look at what we were looking at here as you're pushing him away when his head was down.
I had to push him away, Larry, because his head was coming so low. Every time he kept coming low, I mean, I just had to keep my hand on top of him because he kept coming in with his head. I mean, his head was in front of his front foot. I'll try my best to keep away from that head, but he just kept coming in with that head.
Still, in the late rounds of the fight, he was pushing you around, making you change your game plan, moving around. He was being effective with his style of brawling.
He was being effective, definitely. He kept coming in with it. I mean, he was being very pressurized. I was a cleaner fighter. I was the one countering him. Every time he kept coming in, I was a cleaner fighter. All he kept doing was coming in. But you know what? I was in DC. I mean, I'm ready for a rematch. He wants to do the fight. I'm here. I'm still ready. And you know what? It was just one of them things. When you're in DC, you have to win and not convincingly.
Freddie Roach, were those penalties traditional in boxing, real in boxing? What did you see?
Well, the way he attacked, he came in with he pushed him with his head first, and he's either get headbutted or put his head down.
Were you surprised by how hard and persistent and tough Lamont Peterson was tonight?
You know, I knew he was going to be tough because he's fighting in his home backyard. He's going to come fighting hard. He's going to have the crowd behind him. And, you know, he did what he had to do. But I was a much cleaner fighter, and every time I tried...
It's not about clean fighting. It's about fighting and landing punches.
Exactly, and I really think I was a much cleaner, and I was landing the precise punches and with power and speed.
Thank you very much. It was a terrific fight, and we hope to see you again.
Okay, those sentiments. It was a fantastic fight, wasn't it? We'll get a reaction from Johnny Nelson, from Barry McGuigan and from Steve Collins in a couple of moments' time. Capital, well, it turned into a nightmare night for Khan in the American capital. More reaction coming up in a moment.